This is the Reli Light Cam D1. There are different types of Wi-Fi cameras for sale, but this camera caught my eye because it has features that you don't often see with other cameras. The best thing about the Reli Light Cam is that this camera works for up to 5 months with one battery charge. And it has more very nice features on board. Let's take a closer look at this brand new camera. The new company Reli sent me this brand new Wi-Fi camera, the Reli Light Cam D1. When they asked me if I wanted to check out this camera, I was triggered by one feature in particular. This camera would work for 5 months on a single battery charge. I could hardly believe that. Wow, a Wi-Fi camera that works on batteries and does not need to be charged for another 5 months? I wanted to see that. Although Reli gives me a fee for making this video, I did take a critical look at this camera. I've done this review as neutral as possible. When I received the package, it turned out that it wasn't just the Reli Light Cam D1 in it. The necessary accessories were also included. The camera itself feels very solid. It's waterproof, so you can just leave it outside. There's a cover on the camera where you can place the SD card behind. There's also a cover at the bottom where the USB-C connection is located. A camera mount and USB charging cable are included too. You can mount the camera on a stand in 2 ways, vertically and horizontally. There's also a solar panel with a USB-C connection with which you can top up the camera battery if necessary. Now the battery should last 5 months on one charge, but if you hang the camera in a place where it's difficult to reach, then such a solar panel is very handy. The solar panel also feels very solid and there's also a stand with which you can attach it. There were also a lot of accessories delivered with this camera to be able to place the camera firmly. For example, this desk and fence stand was included with which you can securely attach the camera to a fence or a desk. There was also a ground stand that consists of a number of sturdy metal pins with which you can fix the camera in the ground. In addition, a tripod bracket is included with which you can easily place the camera on a cupboard or a table, for example. And a strap mount is also included, which comes in handy if you would like to mount the camera to a tree. Now I've owned the camera for a couple of weeks, so I haven't been able to test it for 5 months. Reli says the camera will last up to 5 months on a single battery charge based on 20 triggers per day with a recording time of 15 seconds at a time. I tested the camera more than a normal user would use it for a week. The battery was at 98% by the end of the week. I'm quite impressed by that. When I started to record the footage for this video, I used the camera quite intensively for a couple of hours. At the end of that recording session, the battery was at 85%. I think because the camera was connected to Wi-Fi continuously and it was constantly detecting motion. The Reli Light Cam D1 can be used as a security camera, but it can do much more. And Reli positions this camera around the other functions of this camera. So what can the Reli Light Cam D1 do? The camera features, in short, HD 1080p image resolution and a 156 wide angle view. Person detection. It identifies various animal species. It has infrared and full color night vision, motion detection. The device weighs only 0.5 pounds. It has a built-in battery with a maximum of 5 months and it supports cloud storage and micro SD card. Furthermore, it's IP65 waterproof. What is important about all Wi-Fi cameras is that it has a good network connection. If the Wi-Fi connection on the camera is weak, the camera will also respond slowly if you want to view it live. In that case, it also responds slowly via Wi-Fi if it is triggered by movement. It is therefore important that your Wi-Fi is properly arranged in and around your home. The camera stores images on an SD card and/or in the cloud. The first 3 months of cloud usage are free. After that, you have to switch to a paid plan. Unfortunately, the exact details of the paid plans were not yet known when I shot this video, but check Reli's site for the most up-to-date details. The link is in the description. below. I tested the camera both indoors and outdoors for a while. During the day and night I shot different images. The wide angle lens has a huge range and I think the image quality is good. You can view the camera live via your phone. And while watching it live, you can choose to take a photo of the image or record the live video. If the camera lens is in full sun, the image will become a bit faded, but that applies to most cameras. The photos and videos were saved on the SD card and my phone. If you're watching live, you can turn the camera sound on or off, so you can listen in on what's happening near the camera. You can also set off an alarm that is quite loud. When it's dark, the camera shows an infrared image, but you can also turn on a spotlight. As a result, you can see everything in color again when it's dark. Finally, you can also start a voice call, so that you can talk to someone who is near the camera. If motion is detected by the camera, it will start recording and send an alert to your phone. The Reli Light Cam D1 can also be used as a wildlife camera. Because it works on a built-in battery, you can easily place the camera anywhere. According to Reli, the camera recognizes more than 200 species of birds and the following other animals: rabbit, kangaroo, raccoon, bear, duck, chicken, squirrel, hedgehog, fox, deer, cow, sheep, pig and horse. The camera also recognized our cat, even if our cat was only partially in view. There are 3 animal categories in the app. There's a category for pets, a category for birds and a category for wildlife. When a new animal is detected, it is automatically added to the correct category. Before we jump into the app menu, let's watch some footage that I took with this camera. Now let's dive into the settings of the camera. Let's open the camera settings first. In the light control settings, you can switch the status light of the camera on or off. This is useful if you want to use the camera in the dark and do not want to be bothered by the bright blue indicator LED. In addition, you can set how bright the spotlight should be when you activate it on the camera. In the night vision settings, you can switch the camera to infrared or full color night vision. When you use full color night vision, your battery drains faster. In the image settings, you can rotate your image. You can turn on various notifications such as push notifications for events when a person is detected or when motion is detected. You can also turn on general alerts. You can switch the motion detection on and off in the recording settings. You can also set the sensitivity of the motion detection and you can choose person or animal recognition. The maximum recording time can be 10, 20 or 30 seconds. Within Manage Storage, you can see the status of your SD card and format your SD card. In the photo album, you can view the photos and videos you have taken while viewing your camera live. In the AI settings, you can set what your camera recognizes. Here you can indicate whether the camera has facial recognition and whether it recognizes animals, vehicles and packages. In the general settings, you can change the name, manage the locations, view the status of your network, and set the time zone. You can also set firmware updates so that your camera has the most up-to-date information. In the battery saving mode menu, you can also enable or disable movement detection. You can also set the sensitivity of the camera, person detection, and the maximum recording time here. In the help menu, you can view frequently asked questions and report issues yourself. This camera is still so new that there is no integration for it in Home Assistant yet. Perhaps it will come someday. Keep in mind that the battery life will decrease as soon as you constantly stream via this camera. I've had the pleasure of playing with the Reli Light Cam for a week, and I have to say I'm impressed with the fact that it runs so well on a battery. This allows me to place it anywhere I want using the various accessories that came with it. Unfortunately, there were very few birds in my yard when I tested this camera. I will definitely continue to use this camera, and I will hang it close to a birdhouse in the spring to follow the young birds. For now, I'm using it indoors to keep an eye on my cat. For me, the unique selling point is definitely that this camera runs on a battery and I can place it really anywhere without having to have a power outlet nearby. This was my review of the Reli Light Cam D1. You can pre-order it on Indiegogo. The link is in the description below. I want to thank everybody who has supported me thus far. Thanks to your support, I can continue to make these videos and tutorials. You can support me by becoming my patron, buying me a cup of coffee, or joining this channel. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and check the notification bell. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye!